The National Capital Authority acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which Little Griffins is filmed. We pay our respects to elders past and present, and thank them for sharing and caring for the land that we learn and play on.
Hi everyone, my name's Tash. Welcome to Little Griffins. We're here today by the edge of Lake Burley, Griffin, to see if we can spot some birds together. Can you see one already? Can you see this fellow perched in the tree over here? This is a cormorant. Can you say cormorant with me? Cormorant. And once more, cormorant. Nice work. One of the really lovely things about living in Canberra is that there is a great mix of places for humans and places for plants and animals. Two of the most common birds to see in Canberra, especially by the edge of the lake, are swans and ducks. Do you know what sound a duck makes? Did you say woof? Probably not. That's usually a sound that a dog makes. What about meow? No, I didn't think so. That's usually a sound that a cat makes. How about quack? That sounds more like it, doesn't it? Quack, quack! Yes, that's a sound that a duck makes. Lake Burley Griffin is also home to several families of swans. Swans are much bigger than ducks, and they have very long necks. The Canberra swans have black feathers, and they have a red bill. Baby swans are called cygnets. That's another bit of a tricky word to say. Can you try saying it with me? Cygnet. Cygnet. Nice work. Cygnets hatch from eggs. The mum swan lays the egg in a nest, and if you go for a walk around the waterways at this time of year, you might be lucky enough to see one of those swans' nests, or maybe some grey fluffy cygnets and the mum and dad swans floating around in the lake. One of my favourite facts about swans is that they can sleep almost anywhere. They can sleep on the land, they can sleep in the water, and they can sleep standing on one leg. Can you stand on one leg like a swan? Let's try it together. Everyone, hopping up. One leg down, arms out for balance, and lift the other leg up. What about trying the other foot? You might have to flap your wings for balance. Nice work, everyone. Swans are very important birds in Canberra. Our city has a name. It's called Canberra, but it also has a special picture that goes with its name. This is what the picture looks like. This type of picture is called a coat of arms. Coat, like what you'd wear, and arms, like these. This coat of arms has two birds on it. Can you see them? What are they? That's right, we have a black swan here, and we have a white swan. And they're both on Canberra's coat of arms. Today at Little Griffins, we're going to use some craft materials to make a black swan and a white swan. We'll also play with some Duplo, and we'll do some singing and dancing. Today I'm going to show you how to make some swans using your handprint. So first of all, I have a sheet of A4 paper here, and I have a pencil, and I'm going to place my hand at one end of the piece of paper. You can either trace around your hand yourself or ask a grown-up to help you with this part. The hand is going to be the body of the swan, and the fingers are going to be the feathers. You can also ask your grown-up to help you cut out the handprint, or you can have a go at doing it yourself. It doesn't have to be exactly following the lines. I'm going to cut out the template of my swan neck next. So you can get this from the National Capital Authority's website. The address is written down the bottom of the screen here. Now, first thing to do is to decide which size swan head you want. If you have a very small hand, you can go with the small swan. If you have a medium size hand, you'd want the medium size swan. And if you have a big hand like me, you can go with the big swan. Now, as we're going to make 2 swans, it's a good idea to print out 2 of these templates. Unless, of course, one of your hands is much, much bigger than the other hand. Then you can have 2 different size swans. Now we're going to lay our handprint and our swan neck on our paper. And we're going to glue it down using our craft glue. You could use a glue stick for this, but craft glue is going to make the next step a lot easier because we're going to put cotton wool or crepe paper onto our swans to make them fluffy. Okay. So this swan is going to be a black swan, and we're going to use the black crepe paper to make the feathers. Right. So we're going to start by ripping off a long skinny rectangle. In fact, that's a bit wider than I want. So I've got a thin strip of crepe paper and I'm balling it up in my hands, scrunching it together, and I've got to put some more glue on my swan actually. And I'm going to use my finger to smear this all over the swan's body. So yes, we are about to get quite messy. And then with my balled up piece of crepe paper, I'm going to stick it onto the fingers of my handprint. Then I'm going to do the exact same thing. And I'm going to keep on going until I've completely covered the swan in crepe paper. All right, so we have one black swan completely covered with crepe paper. Now we're going to make our second swan. This one's going to be a white swan. So we're getting our piece of paper that we drew our first handprint on, and we're going to draw a second handprint. So again, you can ask a grown-up for help with this, or trace around your own hand. We'll cut out our second swan neck template. And again, we're going to put glue on the back of our swan and stick it down. So we're gluing the neck and the body down, and now we're going to put our cotton buds or cotton wool balls on our swan to make the white fluffy swan. So again, we've got to squeeze out our glue and smush it around with our fingers. All right, now we're going to pull apart our cotton wool balls and stick that down along the fingers and the body of the swan. Now we've just got to colour in our beaks to make them red. And let's give our swans some blue eyes. And we've also got to turn the backdrop into a lake. So let's add some water. Now you could use anything to make the water. I'm just going to use my pencils, but if you have watercolour paints, you could use those, or crayons. You could put cellophane or even blue crepe paper on your page. It's up to you. There we go. 2 swans swimming on a lake. All right, everyone, that's enough sitting down. Let's get up and do some singing and dancing. Do you know the song The Hokey Pokey? Well, this one's pretty similar, but there are a few differences. This is the Swan Pokey. Do you have your wings ready to go? You put your right wing in, you put your right wing out, you put your right wing in, and you shake it all about. You do the Swan Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your left wing in, you put your left wing out, you put your left wing in, and you shake it all about. You do the Swan Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your tail feathers in, you put your tail feathers out, you put your tail feathers in, and you shake them all about. You do the Swan Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put the whole bird in, you put the whole bird out, you put the whole bird in, and you shake it all about. You do the Swan Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Nice work, everyone. Let's do it a second time. Pause for a moment to get our breath back because I'm old. All right, wings ready? You put your right wing in, you put your right wing out, you put your right wing in, and you shake it all about. You do the Swan Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put the left wing in, you put your left wing out, you put your left wing in, and you shake it all about. You do the Swan Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your tail feathers in, you put your tail feathers in, your tail feathers in, and you shake them all about. You do the Swan Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put the whole bird in, you put the whole bird out, you put the whole bird in, and you shake it all about. You do the Swan Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Well done, everyone. We've got one more thing to do together at Little Griffins. Let's get out the Duplo and see if we can make some birds together. I'm going to show you how to make 2 different types of ducks and also how to make a swan. Now, if you don't have all of the same pieces of Duplo as I, that's okay. You can use whatever you want. Use your imagination and I'm sure whatever you make will be amazing. Now, let's start with our ducks. I'm lucky enough to have one of these round pieces, so if you have one of those, you can use it as the body for your duck. I also have a few pieces with eyes on them. So this is going to be the head of my duck. I'm going to use a long skinny piece to be the bill, and I'm going to put the head on like this, and then I'm going to add one more long skinny piece on the bottom of my round bit, and suddenly it has feet. Quack, quack. Now, if you don't have any of the round pieces, that's okay. You can make a duck using square pieces. So I'm going to do the same thing with the head. 1 square, 1 long skinny piece. Then I'm going to go another small piece, another red skinny bit, and another square piece. Quack, quack. Now let's make a swan. This is going to be a little bit trickier. I'm going to start with my red bill, like our black swans on Lake Burley Griffin. This one's going to be a rainbow swan though, because we don't have any black Duplo. I'm going to give my swan some eyes, then a head, then a long skinny neck. Then I think I'm going to give my swan a blue body. And let's do some blue and red feathers. So I'm using 4 of these curved pieces to make the feathered back. Then I might add a skinny piece down the bottom and a yellow curved bit. In fact, let's bring it in a little bit. And there we go. I have a simple swan. to be friends with my ducks. How did you go with your Duplo? Well, don't stop there. You can make a whole family of animals, not just birds. I'd love to see what you create. So once you've done, you can upload photos of your creations to the National Capital Authority's social media pages. Here's the address of our Facebook page down below. Well, that's all we've got time for today. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.